Today we're watching a video. This video right here is by the Lazy Peon on YouTube, and it's a video that is titled "We Need to Be Honest About the MMO Genre." Now, for anybody who's watching my streams, I play MMOs quite a lot. I've even played some Guild Wars recently, we're playing some WoW, and I'm playing some other games as well off stream. We even have tried a couple of other games on stream as well, but it's been some time now. I usually play mostly WoW, and I've tried out Guild Wars as well. But let's check out this video, because he usually makes good content, and this one right here, the title kinda sparked my interest.
I think it's time that we're honest about the state of the MMO genre, especially Western MMOs, as 2025 has probably been one of the worst years ever for the genre. Like, just when you think it can't get any worse, it somehow does. But these past few months in particular have been brutal. We've had Amazon Game Studios shut down unexpectedly after the recent New World expansion, and as a result, the in-development Lord of the Rings MMO has also been cancelled. Project Ghost, the MMO by ex-WoW and Riot dev Ghostcrawler, was recently cancelled after NetEase pulled their funding. A few months ago, the upcoming ZeniMax Online Studios MMO, Project Blackbird, was cancelled. And very recently, Jackalyptic Games announced that the upcoming Warhammer MMO has also been cancelled after 3.5 years of development. It genuinely...
Dude, what is happening to all of these cancelled MMOs, by the way? I also feel like they're always being cancelled so late in development, so the people behind the MMOs have probably spent tens of, if not even hundreds of millions of dollars on development, and then they don't even publish the games to even get any of the funding back. So everybody's just throwing money down the line to fund an MMO, and then the game doesn't even come out. Like, what's happening? Why? Instead of funding so many different ones, just fund one good one. Please.
Feels like it's all over. The only big MMO releases in the near future are all coming out of Asia. The few Western projects that are still ongoing, we either know nothing about,
Hey yo boys, we saw Classic Plus on there, let's go.
Or are indie projects that still need a lot of development and may still be years away from a full release. Is there any hope? Mate, I'll do my best to try and find something optimistic, but I can't promise I'm gonna make you feel better.
Classic Plus? Arcade 2 or Chronicles of Arcade or whatever the name is, Ashes of Creation. I mean, I have hope. Here's the thing though, I don't really want to have any, like, I want to be hopeful, but I don't want to expect anything. Low expectations and high hopes is kind of the mindset that I'm trying to go in with here. But I mean, for people like me, I enjoy the games we currently have, right? I'm a huge WoW nerd, so having Midnight coming out, we have TBC soon as well. We're gonna have Classic Plus very likely being announced at BlizzCon next year. Ashes of Creation probably entering beta next year as well, and might even come out in 2027, maybe 2028. I don't know, I think it's gonna be a good time, but we'll see.
It is looking pretty bleak, but there is one positive. Today's sponsor, Old School RuneScape. This is my main MMORPG, and it's just released its biggest update.
Bro got a sponsor from Old School RuneScape? Bro. What?
Yet, sailing, the first entirely new skill added to OSRS in the game's history. This is a skill that was voted into the game and collaboratively designed by the OSRS community via the player polling system. You'll be able to set sail upon the seas from existing ports on your very own ship that comes in different shapes and sizes as you level up. You'll be able to choose NPC crewmates or invite your friends to help crew your ship. The world's map has once again been expanded with this update, adding over 30 new islands. There'll be new sailing-themed enemy types, different training methods to gain XP, and it's accessible to everyone, whether you're a brand new player, veteran Ironman, or a skiller. For me though, I feel like the addition of sailing really just completes the world of Gielinor. Look how clean the new skills panel looks now, with 24 skills instead of 23. When you open the world map now, these vast ocean areas are places you can finally actually go to now. I absolutely love OSRS, and it's the perfect sponsor for this video because it has been one of the few massive success stories to come out of the MMO genre in the past decade. I've personally put thousands of hours into this game, and if someone was to ask me what current MMO will still be here 10 years from now, my first response would be Old School RuneScape. So click the link in the description below to play OSRS and try out the new sailing skill now. So what's going on with Western MMOs? When people say the MMO genre is dying, what they're really talking about is MMOs from Western developers, as almost every year we do see big new releases from studios in Asian countries like Korea, China, or Japan. Why is this? Well, the uncomfortable truth is that Asia can afford to make MMOs and the West simply cannot anymore. Let me explain. In places like California, Austin, London, or Berlin, the cost of developing a modern MMORPG is absolutely insane, mostly due to wages and the cost of living. If you want to hire a senior gameplay programmer in the US or Western Europe, you're often paying well into six figures before benefits, taxes, insurance, studio overheads. The whole thing starts to spiral, but in Korea, in China, even Japan, those same roles are dramatically cheaper, and when you zoom out, it means a full MMO can be built for a fraction of what it would cost in the West. A Western AAA MMO easily becomes a $100 to $200 million gamble, but an Asian MMO with the same scope might be made for 30 to 50 million. And here's the thing, when your development costs are lower, you don't need to be critically acclaimed to turn a profit. This is why we constantly see Asian MMOs popping up even when they don't set the world on fire critically. They don't need to. A 7 out of 10 bit grindy kinda pay to win MMO can still make money in Korea or China because the investment risk is lower, the player expectations are different, and the monetization culture heavily favors cosmetics, gachas, and whales. Some of these games double dip by launching on both PC and mobile too. Even if the PC version flops in the West, the mobile version can still print money in Asia and completely cover the development costs. Meanwhile, in the West, studios need a massive genre-defining hit just to break even. If the game launches as merely okay, it's not seen as an acceptable outcome, it's seen as a failure. Investors know this, publishers know this, and that's why so few Western MMOs are even getting greenlit anymore. It's not that the West forgot how to make MMOs, it's that the economics have changed so much that they can barely justify taking the risk. Back in the mid to late 2000s, things were very different. That era felt like the Wild West of MMO development when it came to Western studios. Every year you'd hear about some new WoW killer cooking in the background. Warhammer Online, Age of Conan, Rift, WildStar, Guild Wars 2, Lord of the Rings Online, SWTOR, even weird shit like Tabula Rasa. It was
Dude, there's been so many WoW killers over the year, dude. Who was it again? Mad Season even made a video on this recently, like a full 1 hour-ish video on all of the WoW killers, all of the potential WoW killers, and I mean, have any of them actually ended up being the WoW killer? Not really.
a constant conveyor belt of big new Western MMORPGs because the genre was the hot investment at the time. Why? Well, blame World of Warcraft. The moment Blizzard proved you could make an MMO and have it pull in literal billions a year, every investor decided, yep, we want one of those. So money was flying everywhere, studios were hiring rapidly, and publishers were greenlighting anything with the letters MMO attached to it. Development costs were also significantly lower back then too. Budgets weren't tiny, but they were still manageable. Vanilla WoW reportedly cost somewhere in the range of 50 to 60 million to develop. So
Vanilla didn't cost more than that, bro. It is such a good game.
some sources even estimate up to $75 million, which was considered a monster budget at the time, but still nowhere near the $100 to $2 million range that you need today to build a Western AAA MMO at the same scale.
New World was 200 million. Holy.
Back then, you didn't need motion-captured cinematics, fully voice-acted quest lines, high-fidelity assets, 4K texture pipelines, or decade-long pre-production cycles. A major MMO in 2007 could be made in that $40 to $60 million range or less and still be competitive. The technical bar was lower, the financial risk was lower, investor confidence was higher, and the audience was absolutely starved for anything resembling WoW, but slightly different. But that era is gone now. Games cost far more to make, expectations are way higher, audiences are more fragmented, and investors would rather make a cheap hero shooter or mobile gacha instead of gambling their future on a decade-long MMO project.
I mean, here's the thing, that's the sad truth, by the way, and those games makes so much money as well. Everybody's heard those memes about Amazon shutting down the New World and focusing on the AI game from Snoop Dogg or whatever it was, right? It just like cheap. Some games can be made so cheap, and you can just milk people from cash with those games, and they're more willing to spend the cash as well in those games. If you want to make money, just focus on the mobile games, or I don't know, like gacha games. I don't know.
Rightfully so, like from an investor point of view, you can understand this. But that's how we went from dozens of Western MMOs popping up every year to
Or just be like EA and make some FIFA game and reset it every year and sell the same cards every year. I have real life friends who spent tens of thousands of dollars in total playing FIFA. Like, one of my friends even told me he had to quit FIFA and he's not buying the next year's one because he's spent $10,000 in a year, 1 year, on FIFA. So he was just like, he was looking through his bank account and being like, nah, I can't play FIFA, dude. It's not good for me.
barely anything even making it past the concept phase today. So is there any hope? At this point you're probably thinking, alright Peon, this is all very depressing. Please tell me there's at least something to look forward to from the West. And yes, there is some hope, and I pray this video doesn't age poorly, because with how things have been going recently, any one of these could be the next cancellation announcement. Guild Wars 3 is in development at ArenaNet. It's not officially announced yet, but hiring listings and internal documents have all but confirmed it. ArenaNet has a proven
Guild Wars 3? Oh, dude, I've just started playing Guild Wars 2. Give me some time, but also I'm so down. Guild Wars 2 has been really fun so far. Guild Wars 3? Man, dude.
track record. Guild Wars is a beloved IP, and
Yeah.
if it gets to a full release, I'd personally expect it to have a high chance of success, considering both Guild Wars 1 and 2 were both successful games critically and financially. The Riot MMO is still alive. It went through a major reboot, the scope was reduced, and a lot of the team was reshuffled, but Riot hasn't cancelled it. Riot Games
Oh yeah, can we speak a little bit about Guild Wars 3, by the way? Something that I'm seeing a lot right now, both in video games but also in the movies in real life, is that people don't develop new IPs anymore. They would rather just double down on old IPs, like make more Harry Potter movies, make more Pirates of the Caribbean movies, make more Fast and the Furious movies, make a World of Warcraft 2, a new WoW expansion. I don't know, like they're just doubling down on the IPs they have instead of developing new ones. And this is why games will slowly die, because no new successful IPs are being made. One of the big ones that I'm following closely is Ashes of Creation, and I've been really happy with the progress they've made so far. Now, there is some controversy happening right now with them going early access to Steam during Alpha 2, which is not probably the best decision, at least I don't like it that much, but there can be some potential positive outcomes. But yeah, I just find it really funny that a lot of companies just seem to double down on IPs that are old and just like coming out with a new iteration of it instead of making new IPs, like original content.
doesn't work on things forever for no reason, so clearly there's still some internal belief in this project. And then there's a surprising one. Very recent news, Hytale is back. Riot just gave the rights back to Hypixel.
Yo, has anyone been following Hytale, by the way? Because I've been following this game for years, and I stopped following it for a while, but like a friend of mine sent me a video on Hytale back when the first trailer came out ever. I believe, and don't quote me on this, but have I played some sort of alpha or beta for it? I would have to go back and double check, but I seem to have like this weird memory of me playing an early version of it. But maybe I'm remembering wrong, or it was a different game. But yeah, like this game right here looks so good, by the way. Has nothing to do with World of Warcraft, but I love this. This is such a cool game.
Studios and
As somebody who's been a huge fan of Minecraft ever since I was like 12, I guess, and I played a lot of Terraria. I have clocked in over 1,000 hours of Terraria, I have played Stardew Valley. This game is so cool.
development has resumed under the original team. This was a project that was announced as cancelled earlier this year, so it's quite a nice surprise to see it resurrected again. We have Ashes of Creation, which recently announced it's coming to Steam Early Access on December 12th. This announcement was met with quite a bit of backlash for a number of reasons, and it's a topic that deserves its own video, and I do worry it's going to get negative Steam reviews, with most testers fearing it's too early for early access. But at least this one is actually playable. The gameplay itself is really solid, but it's got a ways to go until it's a complete experience. Then you've got a few smaller scale MMO lights as well as indie projects. For a full list on all of these MMOs, both indie and AAA, as well as some fully released under the radar MMOs, check out my 2 recent videos, Every Upcoming MMORPG 2025 and Beyond, as well as Indie MMO Devs in 2025 Are Insane. If you can't find hope in these videos or the current MMOs, then that brings us to the next question. What would it take for MMOs to make a big comeback? Honestly, it's going to take a few things. Number 1,
Yo. Anybody here who's played Arcade, is that Villanelle music? This sounds so much like my player house in Villanelle, or Villanelle, however you say it, like Villanelle. Please. Yo, I just heard the first couple of notes here, and it took me back. No. Oh, I love that game.
Monetization model that isn't pay to win, but still prints money. This is the big...
This music is 100% arcade music, man. Oh my days.
Biggest thing that needs to change if MMOs are ever going to make a comeback. For the past decade, monetization has basically been split into 2 extremes. Western MMOs, cosmetics, optional subs, small battle passes. Eastern MMOs, gachas, power boosts, power selling, progression shortcuts, and everything in between. Neither side has fully cracked the non-pay to win but massively profitable formula. Until recently, a new business model has started to emerge out of China. Free-to-play, non-pay-to-win with cosmetic-only gacha and battle pass. For this to work, the games need to have extensive character cosmetic features, such as player housing with housing items, dyeable outfits, mount skins, animations, player effects. Basically create social features that allow players to flex cosmetics without selling power. If, and this is the key, if the game itself is good enough, this model absolutely prints money. 2 perfect examples, Where Winds Meet. This game is basically a full single-player wuxia RPG with MMO elements sitting on top of that foundation, with players having the option to play the MMO mode or just enjoy the single-player mode. The game is 0 pay to win, and it's just cosmetic gacha plus battle pass, and in the first month of its Chinese release, reportedly made over $90 million from both mobile and PC. Sword of Justice Online. This is a mobile-first MMO, but it uses the same non-pay-to-win business model. Massively successful in China. Over 40 million players in the first month. Not so successful with its Western Steam release because we understandably don't like to see a hideous mobile UI when we launch a game via Steam.
Yeah.
Here's something wild I found. World of Jade Dynasty.
That UI is more cursed than in my WoW UI, by the way, which is quite a feature.
Another new Chinese MMO that also uses the free-to-play, mostly cosmetic monetization model. There's a cosmetic dragon mount in the game that's sold for the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of premium gems acquired through gacha. When obtained, it triggers a server-wide special.
A $140,000 mount. Yo, what?
Event, and community posts joke about it being the million RMB mount. Apparently, on average, it can cost over 100k USD to obtain, and is a purely cosmetic flex item tied to absurd spending. For the past decade, mobile games have absolutely printed cash from a tiny percentage of players that they refer to as whales, who account for the majority of spending on these games. It seems like the new monetization meta, in China at least, is to give whales the opportunity to spend big money on these flex cosmetic items instead of buying actual power. Although I think we're still early in seeing this model adopted in other regions, these games at least prove something incredibly important. You don't need pay to win if your cosmetic and fashion game is strong enough. MMO players love cosmetics. If you give them good transmog, a proper dye system, player housing with furniture.
I honestly think that's gonna be the future, by the way, for getting a WoW killer. Because World of Warcraft does the exact opposite of this. You have to buy the game, then you have to pay for it monthly through a subscription, and then you have to pay for expansions, and then you also have to pay for microtransactions in the game itself, so like mounts, transmog, those things, and you can even buy a level boost in the game, right? So WoW has done the complete opposite of free to play, and they're like charging you for everything, and I wouldn't be surprised if you have to start paying them to click the play button every single day as well soon. But I think the future of MMORPGs is to let people play the game for free, because when you have something that is free to play with optional payments in the game itself, you bring so many people in. And if I, for example, am spending 8 hours of my day in a video game, I can start justifying to spend more and more money on it through a battle pass, through unlocking cosmetics and doing all of those things. So I honestly think if they go free to play, like not just Blizzard here, but like there's gonna be some big game that goes free to play, and everybody's just gonna go play that one, because now that game basically offers everything for free and a very superior game for free, and then you can choose to pay as well, and the better the game is, the more fun you have, and the more you play it, the more you start mentally justifying it to yourself to spend money on it as well. I think there's gonna be some big MMORPG that turns out to be free to play in the future, like let's just say next 10 years, that does this model right here, free to play, battle pass, optional cosmetics, and they will be huge.
Mount skins, weapon skins, outfit collections, emotes, dances, gestures, seasonal battle pass cosmetics. They will spend a stupid amount of money without ever breaking the integrity of the game, at least to a certain extent. If you then want to capture the whales, you can then also throw in some uber rares via cosmetic gacha, so the gamers who have invested in Nvidia stock can gamble to get their equivalent of an in-game Rolex.
Dude.
The key is to simply make a good game first. If the game is free, has good gameplay, the world is fun, and the social systems are solid, then cosmetics alone can easily sustain a modern MMO. Number 2, regulators clamping down on pay to win. Another weird source of hope for MMOs actually comes from something that most gamers hate. Governments getting involved, especially in China. According to Reuters, in late 2023, new rules were proposed in China targeting whale bait mechanics, which means no login rewards, no first top-up bonus, no streak spending rewards, spending limits for players, direct purchase options for items normally locked behind gacha, and stricter transparency around probability items. These changes directly attack the systems that have kept many Eastern MMOs profitable through pay-to-win design. South Korea followed with its probability disclosure law in 2024, forcing all games with gacha to clearly show the real odds everywhere. We've still got a long way to go until pay to win is regulated completely out of MMOs, but if China and Korea keep pushing in this direction, developers may be forced towards the exact monetization model that Western players actually want. 3. The possibility of AI reducing development costs for MMOs dramatically in the future. Controversial topic because it means people losing their jobs, and at this point I'm sick to death of hearing about AI. I think it's made the internet an absolute slop fest these past few years, and I'm honestly not convinced it's even going to be a net positive for humanity. However, we have already seen people use AI to help with asset generation, animation blending, procedural dialogue, world building tools, and QA automation. If AI tools can cut MMO development costs by even 20 to 30%, maybe just doing a few mundane tasks here and there, then that's already massive. Suddenly, the genre becomes more financially viable again for studios that previously couldn't justify it. And if AI gets to the point where one artist can do the work of 5, one designer can generate hundreds of quest variations, then that changes everything. I don't think it's going to magically resurrect the genre overnight, but over the next 5 to 10 years, this could potentially be one of the biggest factors that brings MMOs back. Number 4, a breakout hit from either side. The truth is, one massively successful MMO, whether Western or Asian, could completely shift investor confidence. All it takes is one game that proves that you can still make $1 billion.
Honestly, while we are talking about AI, I think way more gaming companies are using AI right now than we are aware of. Because it's not like they're going to come out and be like, oh guys, we're using AI right now. No, they wouldn't. Then they're not going to tell you. But I think a bunch of gaming companies are using AI in some way, shape, or form. They can use it in so many different ways to just speed up certain processes, or even to do very, like he said, mundane tasks. I even think some people have AIs for customer support. Not gonna say any like who, but yeah, AI is being used.
$1 MMO in the 2020s, another World of Warcraft level success. If that happens, money will flow again, studios will pivot.
I mean, fairly recently, some game developer was even caught using AI in a promotion. Like they had like this picture, and the picture was made by AI, and somebody like outed them for it. So instead of paying some sort of like designer, let's just say $50 to make a photo and use it for promotion, they used AI. And this is a company that definitely could afford to hire a real artist. My voice is completely gone today, but yo.
Publishers will chase the trend as they always do, and the 2007 to 2012 era of constant MMO launches could absolutely return. But that's me reaching dangerous levels of hopium. So much so, it's probably best that we wrap up the video here before I get sent to the hospital for an OD. Real talk though, I don't know what the future holds, I can't predict anything, and as a content creator covering this genre, I've really had to do my best to try and stay positive these past few years because no one wants to come home from a long day of work, watch one of my videos and only hear negativity. I'm someone that gets genuinely depressed when there is no hope, so I'll always do my best to try and find it, whether that be with games, real life, health, work, or with the future in general. Maybe sometimes I come across as unrealistic, or maybe in the past I've gotten you excited for a game that turned out to be disappointed. Sorry if that's been the case. But I do promise you this, I do genuinely love this genre and I just want to see it thrive again. As always,
I'm not gonna lie, I ended up getting a little bit excited for Chronicles of Valeria by watching his videos in the past, but yeah, I usually enjoy the coverage.
let me know what you think about the MMO genre in the comments below. Which one of these recent cancellations hurt you the most, and do you have any hope for these upcoming releases? Help us out with a like and subscribe to the channel for more MMO coverage. Social media on screen, thanks for watching, and click the video on screen to watch my deep dive into the absolute shit show that was the era of Kickstarter MMOs. Cheers.
Oh, I don't miss that era at all, by the way. Kickstarter MMO era was so bad. So many companies like got tens of millions or even like hundreds of thousands. Like people ran away with so much money, dude. It's crazy. So many insane Kickstarter videos by both the Lazy Peon and also Kira, another creator that I watched during my arcade days.